The mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. Gautama Buddha. This quote reminds us that while our minds have immense potential for creativity and problem-solving, letting them control us can lead to suffering. By cultivating mindfulness and learning to observe our thoughts, we empower ourselves to become the masters of our minds, not their slaves. Welcome to the channel. Today we delve into the whirlwind of our minds. Our thoughts, both positive and negative, can be a powerful current, swaying our emotions and directing our actions. However, the Buddha also teaches us liberation from the relentless grip of our thoughts. He emphasizes the importance of right mindfulness, fostering a state of awareness where we observe our thoughts without judgment, like passing clouds in the sky. In this video, we'll explore the ways our thoughts can control us, and more importantly, how Buddhist practices empower us to break free from their hold. We'll examine how excessive thinking can lead to rash decisions, misunderstandings, and a superficial level of communication. We'll explore how observing our thoughts without judgment cultivates inner peace, fosters deeper connections, and enhances our focus. We'll offer practical Buddhist practices like meditation, mindful living, and letting go to gain control over our thoughts and emotions. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped with tools drawn from Buddhist philosophy to transform your relationship with your thoughts. You'll learn how to step out of the whirlwind and cultivate a calmer, more centered mind. So if you're ready to take control of our thoughts and experience a deeper sense of well-being, join us on this journey into the transformative power of mindfulness. Hit that subscribe button and let's begin. Our thoughts can be a powerful force, sometimes leading us down unhelpful paths. But Buddhist teachings offer a wealth of wisdom on how to gain perspective and prevent your thoughts from controlling you. Here are 13 practical tips. 1. Thoughts are transient. Buddhism emphasizes the impermanence of all things, including thoughts. They arise, change, and pass away like clouds in the sky. Recognize that a thought is just a mental phenomenon, not a reflection of our true self. Buddhist teachings offer a profound perspective on the impermanence of all things, including our thoughts. They are not some unyielding force defining who we are, but rather fleeting phenomena arising and passing away like clouds in the vast expanse of the sky. By understanding the transient nature of our thoughts, we can begin to break free from their control and cultivate a sense of inner peace. Imagine ourselves sitting beneath a vast open sky. Fluffy white clouds drift by, some casting fleeting shadows, others offering glimpses of pristine blue. These clouds are constantly changing, morphing and transforming as they are carried by the wind. Our thoughts are similar. They arise from a multitude of sources, memories, desires, anxieties, and take shape in our minds. Some thoughts are light and pleasant, like playful wisps of clouds. Others are heavy and ominous, casting a shadow over our moods. The key to understanding our thoughts lies in recognizing their impermanence. Just as a cloud cannot remain fixed in the sky, a thought cannot hold a permanent place in our minds. It arises, unfolds, and eventually dissolves, replaced by another thought in the ever-flowing stream of our consciousness. 2. Observe thoughts without judgment. Instead of getting caught up in the content of our thoughts, observe them with a detached awareness. Notice their arrival, their nature, and their departure without judgment. Our minds are like bustling marketplaces. Thoughts, like energetic vendors, hawk their wares, worries, desires, judgments, memories, vying for our attention. We often get caught up in this mental marketplace, bargaining with negative thoughts, dwelling on anxieties, or becoming swept away by excitement. However, Buddhist teachings offer a powerful tool to navigate this inner market, the ability to observe our thoughts without judgment. Instead of being passive consumers in the marketplace of our minds, we can become aware observers. This practice, a cornerstone of Buddhist meditation, allows us to detach from the content of our thoughts and simply witness their arrival, nature, and departure. It's like stepping back from the bustling marketplace and observing the vendors from a distance, noticing their interactions without getting entangled in their transactions. So why is observing thoughts without judgment so important? The human mind has a natural tendency to latch on to thoughts, especially negative ones. We ruminate on past failures, rehearse future anxieties, and personalize negative self-talk. This clinging to thoughts creates a sense of suffering, trapping us in a mental prison of our own making. By observing thoughts without judgment, we interrupt this cycle of negativity. We don't suppress thoughts, nor do we engage in a battle with them. Instead, we acknowledge their presence with a neutral, curious mind. We might notice a thought of anger arise, fueled by a recent argument. We observe the physical sensations associated with anger, the tightening in our chest, the clenching of our jaw. We might even label the thought internally, "This is anger arising." This process of labeling can be incredibly helpful. By putting a name to the thought, we separate ourselves from it. We recognize it as a mental phenomenon, not a reflection of who we truly are. This creates space between ourselves and the thought, allowing us to observe it objectively. Imagine ourselves sitting by a babbling brook. Leaves and twigs float downstream, carried by the current. Our thoughts are similar to these natural objects. They arise from various sources, memories, desires, anxieties, and flow through the stream of our consciousness. Observing our thoughts without judgment is like watching these leaves and twigs pass by without attempting to grab them or control their flow. This practice of observing without judgment cultivates several benefits. It reduces the power of negative thoughts. When we don't cling to them, they lose their grip on us. They become like passing clouds, eventually drifting away without causing a downpour of negativity. 3. Practice meditation. Meditation trains our mind to be present in the moment, reducing the power of intrusive thoughts. Techniques like mindfulness meditation teach us to focus on our breath, sensations, or sounds, anchoring us in the present and calming the mental chatter. Our minds are like mischievous monkeys, constantly swinging from branch to branch of thought, rarely staying still. We flit from anxieties about the future to regrets of the past, rarely finding a moment of peace amidst the mental chatter. This constant mental noise can be overwhelming, leading to stress, anxiety, and difficulty focusing. Meditation, a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, is not about emptying our minds or achieving a state of blankness. It's about training our minds to be present in the moment, observing our thoughts without getting caught up in them. This practice cultivates a sense of inner peace and allows us to weaken the hold of intrusive thoughts. Think of our minds as gardens. Left untended, they become overgrown with weeds of negative thoughts, worries, and anxieties. Meditation is like tending this garden. We learn to focus our attention like a gentle gardener on a chosen anchor, our breath, bodily sensations, or sounds in our environment. This focus helps us become aware of the weeds, thoughts, that inevitably arise, but instead of letting them take root, we simply observe them and gently guide our attention back to the anchor. 4. Be present in daily activities. Engage fully in everyday activities, focusing on the sensations and details. Washing dishes, walking, or eating become opportunities to train your mind to stay present and break free from thought spirals. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of mindfulness, the practice of focusing our attention on the present moment without judgment. While meditation is a powerful tool for cultivating mindfulness, it's not the only one. We can actually train our minds to be present throughout the day, transforming everyday activities into opportunities to break free from thought spirals and experience a sense of inner peace. Imagine yourself washing dishes. For most of us, this chore becomes a time for mental autopilot to kick in, replaying past conversations, dwelling on anxieties, or planning our next move. But what if we approached washing dishes differently? The warm water feels soothing on our skin as we pick up a soapy sponge. The clinking of plates creates a rhythmic melody. This simple act of washing dishes, when approached with mindfulness, becomes an anchor in the present moment, allowing us to observe our thoughts without getting caught up in them. When we walk, our minds often drift to other places. Instead, focus on the physical sensations of walking. Feel the ground beneath our feet, the rhythm of your breath, the movement of our arms. Notice the sights and sounds around us, the swaying of trees, the chirping of birds, the architecture of buildings. This mindful walking practice allows us to appreciate the simple joy of movement and connect with our surroundings. Eating can be a mindless activity, especially when we're distracted by screens or lost in thought. However, mindful eating allows us to savor the experience. Before each bite, take a moment to appreciate the food, its color, aroma, texture. Chew slowly, noticing the taste unfolding on your tongue. This practice not only helps us appreciate our food, but also fosters a sense of mindful awareness in the present moment. By incorporating mindfulness practices into our daily routines, we reap a multitude of benefits. It reduces stress and anxiety. When we focus on the present moment, we disconnect from worries about the future and regrets of the past. This allows us to experience a sense of calm and inner peace amidst the daily hustle. Mindfulness enhances our focus and concentration. By training our minds to stay present and observe our thoughts without getting caught up in them, we improve our ability to concentrate on the task at hand, leading to greater productivity and efficiency. 5. Don't identify with our thoughts. You are not your thoughts. They are simply mental events. When a negative thought arises, don't identify with it. Instead, observe it and let it go. We live in a world defined by our thoughts. They shape our perceptions, guide our actions, and often feel like an intrinsic part of who we are. But what if this identification with our thoughts is the very source of our suffering? Buddhist teachings offer a revolutionary perspective. We are not our thoughts. They are simply mental phenomena, like passing clouds in the vast expanse of the sky. By recognizing this distinction, we can cultivate a sense of self-awareness and break free from the tyranny of negative thoughts. Imagine ourselves standing on a hilltop, gazing out over a vast landscape. The sky above is filled with clouds, some fluffy and white, others dark and ominous. These clouds represent our thoughts, ever-changing, fleeting phenomena that drift across the mental sky. We often make the mistake of identifying with these clouds, believing that dark clouds define who we are. When a negative thought arises, like, "I'm a failure," we internalize it, feeling defeated and discouraged. The key to liberation lies in recognizing that we are the observer, not the observed. We are the vast sky, the spacious awareness that witnesses the movement of clouds, thoughts, across our mental landscape. Just as the sky remains unaffected by the passing clouds, we don't have to be defined by the content of our thoughts. This practice of non-identification with thoughts is a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings. When a negative thought arises, we don't judge it, suppress it, or get entangled in its narrative. Instead, we observe it with a detached awareness. We might notice a thought of anger, fueled by a recent argument. We simply acknowledge it as anger arising, without attaching ourselves to the content of the thought. Here's a powerful analogy. Imagine a polluted stream flowing through a village. The villagers, instead of lamenting the dirty water, build a well to access clean, drinkable water. Similarly, instead of dwelling on negative thoughts, we cultivate the well of our awareness, allowing the polluted stream of thoughts to flow on by without us getting poisoned by its negativity. 6. Detach from craving and aversion. Often our thoughts are fueled by desires, cravings, and dislikes, aversions. Acknowledge these desires and aversions, but don't let them control our actions. Practice accepting things as they are. Our minds are like pendulums swinging between two extremes, craving and aversion. We crave pleasure, possessions, and experiences, feeling a sense of lack when we don't have them. Conversely, we experience aversion towards pain, discomfort, and challenges, desperately trying to avoid them. These cravings and aversions fuel many of our thoughts and actions, often leading to unhappiness. But Buddhist teachings offer a path to liberation. The practice of detaching from craving and aversion and embracing acceptance. Imagine ourselves standing at a bustling marketplace. On one side, vendors hawk tempting delights, delicious pastries, luxurious clothes, the latest gadgets. We feel a surge of desire, a craving to possess these things. On the other side, vendors display unpleasant sights and sounds, overflowing bins, loud arguments. These trigger an aversion, a desire to flee. Our lives often resemble this marketplace. Cravings for material possessions, power, or romantic relationships fuel our anxieties and dissatisfaction. Aversions towards pain, loss, or failure lead to fear and a sense of helplessness. But the key to finding peace lies not in acquiring what we crave or avoiding what we dislike, but in detaching from these desires and cultivating acceptance. The first step on the path to detachment is acknowledging our cravings and aversions. We can't address these forces if we remain oblivious to their influence. Cravings often stem from the illusion that external things will bring us lasting happiness. We believe that possessing a new car or achieving a promotion will finally make us content. However, these desires are like mirages, offering a temporary oasis that disappears upon closer inspection. The truth is, true happiness doesn't come from acquiring things. It arises from a sense of inner peace and acceptance. Aversions, on the other hand, create a cycle of suffering. We try to avoid pain, discomfort, and challenges, leading to feelings of fear and anxiety. Acceptance allows for greater appreciation. When we stop clinging to cravings and fearing aversions, we can appreciate the present moment more fully. The simple joys of life, a delicious meal, a beautiful sunset, a conversation with a loved one, become more vivid and meaningful. 7. See thoughts as changing phenomena. Everything changes, and our thoughts are no exception. When a negative thought arises, remember that it won't last forever. It will eventually pass like a wave in the ocean. Our minds resemble a vast ocean. Waves of thoughts, some gentle and positive, others crashing and destructive, continually rise and fall across its surface. We often identify ourselves with these waves, believing them to be permanent reflections of who we are. Imagine ourselves sitting on a beach, gazing at the endless expanse of the ocean. The waves rise and fall, a constant dance of movement. Similarly, our thoughts are not fixed entities but ever-changing phenomena arising from a multitude of sources, memories, desires, fears. These thoughts may be positive, a feeling of joy at seeing a loved one, a sense of accomplishment after completing a task. The key to understanding our thoughts lies in recognizing their impermanence. Just as a wave cannot remain at its crest forever, inevitably collapsing back into the ocean, a thought cannot hold a permanent place in our minds. It arises, unfolds, and eventually dissolves, replaced by another thought in the ever-flowing stream of our consciousness. This impermanence is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it means that negative thoughts, no matter how intrusive or overwhelming they may seem, are not permanent fixtures. They will eventually pass, like a storm cloud yielding to sunshine. This realization can be a source of comfort, offering a sense of hope and resilience in the face of negativity. The impermanence of thoughts also highlights the dangers of clinging to them. When we fixate on a particular thought, especially a negative one, we give it power over us. We ruminate on past failures, rehearse future anxieties, and allow these thoughts to dictate our emotions and actions. This clinging to thoughts creates a sense of suffering, trapping us in a mental prison of our own making. The Buddha, in his teachings, emphasizes the importance of understanding impermanence, the inherent nature of all things to change. This impermanence applies not only to our physical bodies and the world around us, but also to our thoughts and emotions. By recognizing that our thoughts are not fixed entities but fleeting phenomena, we can loosen their grip on us. 8. Let go of the need for control. Trying to control our thoughts often backfires. Accept that some thoughts will arise and focus on observing them without judgment rather than trying to force them away. Imagine ourselves as we drive down a winding mountain road. The scenery is breathtaking, but the constant tension in our grip steals our ability to enjoy the view. This is analogous to our attempts to control our thoughts. We grip them so tightly, trying to steer them in a particular direction, that we lose sight of the present moment and the vast landscape of our inner experience. The truth is, trying to control our thoughts often backfires. The more we push away an unwanted thought, the more persistent it becomes. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. The harder we press, the more it fights to pop up to the surface. Our need for control often stems from the illusion that we have complete power over our thoughts and circumstances. However, much of life is inherently unpredictable. Unexpected events, challenging situations, and negative emotions will inevitably arise. Trying to control everything is not only exhausting, but ultimately futile. Letting go of the need for control doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or living a life of chaos. It means accepting the inherent uncertainty of life and focusing on what we can control, our actions, reactions, and perspectives. This acceptance allows us to navigate the unpredictable dance of existence with greater grace, resilience, and a sense of inner peace. Remember, the most beautiful landscapes are often formed by the most unpredictable forces of nature. By embracing the uncertainty in our thoughts, we open ourselves up to the vast and ever-changing beauty of our inner world. 9. Be kind to ourselves. Don't judge ourselves harshly for having negative thoughts. We all experience them. Treat ourselves with compassion and understanding. Imagine ourselves tending to a garden. Some plants flourish vibrantly while others appear wilted and drooping. We wouldn't speak angrily the wilting plants, calling them failures. Instead, we'd investigate the cause: lack of sunlight, insufficient water, or nutrient deficiency. We'd then take steps to nurture the plant back to health, providing the necessary resources for it to thrive. Our minds are like gardens, and our thoughts are like plants. Some thoughts, positive and optimistic, flourish effortlessly. However, negative thoughts, like weeds, can also take root. The key isn't to judge these negative thoughts or berate ourselves for having them. Instead, we cultivate self-compassion, understanding the root causes of these thoughts and offering ourselves the resources, kindness, understanding, and acceptance needed for inner growth. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is the Four Noble Truths, with the first truth being the truth of suffering. Suffering is a universal human experience. Everyone experiences negative thoughts, anxieties, and self-doubt. Recognizing this universality allows us to let go of the shame associated with negativity. We understand that we're not alone in this struggle and that negative thoughts are a natural part of the human experience. Harsh self-criticism creates a vicious cycle. When we judge ourselves for having negative thoughts, we feel worse, leading to more negativity and self-doubt. This cycle traps us in a spiral of suffering. Self-compassion, on the other hand, breaks this cycle. By treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, we create a sense of inner peace that allows us to navigate challenges with greater resilience. The words we use towards ourselves have a profound impact on our well-being. Instead of using harsh self-criticism, we can adopt the language of self-compassion. When a negative thought arises, we can acknowledge it with a gentle phrase like, "This is a difficult thought," or "It's understandable to feel this way." These simple phrases create a sense of understanding and acceptance, fostering self-compassion. By cultivating self-compassion, we reap a multitude of benefits. Firstly, it reduces stress and anxiety. When we stop berating ourselves for having negative thoughts, we experience a sense of inner peace and self-acceptance. This allows us to approach challenges with greater calm and resilience. Self-compassion fosters self-motivation. When we treat ourselves with kindness, we're more likely to take care of ourselves and make positive choices. This self-care could involve setting healthy boundaries, engaging in activities we enjoy, or prioritizing quality sleep. Self-compassion fosters deeper connections with others. When we are kind to ourselves, we naturally extend that kindness to others. This fosters empathy, understanding, and strengthens the bonds we share with loved ones. 10. Cultivate loving-kindness meditation. Develop a sense of loving-kindness for ourselves and others. This positivity can crowd out negative thoughts and create a sense of inner peace. Our minds can be battlegrounds of negativity. Self-doubt, anger, and ill will towards ourselves and others can fester, leading to a sense of isolation and suffering. But amidst this darkness, Buddhist teachings offer a powerful antidote: the practice of loving-kindness meditation, also known as metta bhavana. This practice isn't about blind optimism, it's about actively cultivating a sense of goodwill and compassion for ourselves and all beings. Imagine ourselves standing in a barren field. The ground is cracked and dry, devoid of life, yet beneath the surface lie dormant seeds waiting for the right conditions to bloom. Loving-kindness meditation is like watering these seeds. Through repeated practice, we cultivate a sense of kindness that can transform our inner landscape from arid negativity to a flourishing garden of compassion. The practice of loving-kindness meditation involves training our minds to generate positive emotions, benevolence, friendliness, and well-being, and directing them towards ourselves and others. Metta, the Pali word for loving-kindness, is more than just a fleeting feeling of goodwill. It's a deliberate intention to cultivate genuine care and happiness for ourselves and others. When we focus on generating positive emotions, the negative ones lose their grip. Silently repeat phrases of loving kindness directed towards yourself. You could start with simple phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be safe," and "May I be free from suffering." 11. Focus on our breath. The breath is a powerful anchor to the present moment. When our thoughts take hold, focus on our breath, feeling the rise and fall of our chest or abdomen. Our minds are like monkeys swinging through a jungle of thoughts, jumping from branch to branch, never truly settling on anything. This constant mental chatter can be overwhelming, leading to anxiety, stress, and a sense of disconnection from the present moment. But amidst this mental frenzy lies a powerful anchor, our breath. By focusing on our breath, we can cultivate a sense of calmness, clarity, and connection to here and now. Imagine ourselves standing on a busy city sidewalk. Cars honk, people rush by, and billboards flash with a relentless stream of information. It's overwhelming. Now imagine taking a deep breath in. We feel the cool air fill our lungs, expanding our chest. We hold it for a moment, a brief pause in the chaos. Then we slowly exhale, releasing the tension and feeling a sense of grounding. This is the power of the breath. The breath is a constant companion, always available to connect us to the present moment. It's a bridge between our mind and body, a physical sensation that grounds us when our thoughts take flight. By focusing on the breath, we can quiet the mental chatter, cultivate stillness, and gain a sense of perspective on our swirling thoughts and emotions. In Buddhist teachings, the breath is a cornerstone of meditation practices like mindfulness meditation. Techniques like vipassana meditation, insight meditation, involve focusing on the natural rhythm of our breath, observing the sensations of inhalation and exhalation without judgment. This simple act of focusing on the breath allows us to become aware of our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. Focusing on the breath enhances our concentration and focus. The constant mental chatter often disrupts our ability to concentrate on tasks. By using the breath as an anchor, we train our attention to stay focused and present, allowing us to tackle challenges with greater efficiency. 12. Engage our senses. Notice the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures around us. Engaging our senses grounds us in the present and reduces the power of intrusive thoughts. Our minds are like overcrowded rooms, overflowing with thoughts, worries, and memories. This mental clutter can be overwhelming, leading to a sense of disconnection from the present moment. But amidst this mental chaos lies a doorway to stillness, our senses. By engaging our senses with intentionality, as Buddhist teachings guide us, we can break free from the grip of intrusive thoughts and experience the richness of the here and now. Imagine ourselves standing in a lush forest. Sunlight filters through the leaves, dappling the forest floor. Birds chirp a symphony of melodies, and the scent of damp earth and pine needles fills the air. We feel the soft grass beneath our feet and the cool breeze on our skin. By engaging all our senses, we become fully immersed in the beauty of the present moment. This is the essence of mindfulness, a core Buddhist practice. It's not about emptying our mind, it's about training our attention to pay attention to the world around us, sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures, without judgment. By engaging our senses actively, we cultivate a sense of groundedness and presence, allowing worries and intrusive thoughts to lose their power. Spend time immersed in nature. Listen to the sounds of birds, feel the breeze on your skin, and smell the fresh air. Immersing yourself in nature is a powerful way to cultivate sensory awareness. 13. Take action with mindfulness. Instead of dwelling on negative thoughts, take mindful action. Do something positive for ourselves or others. Our minds can be breeding grounds for negativity. We ruminate on past failures, worry about the future, and get tangled in self-criticism. This mental churn can feel paralyzing, leaving us feeling helpless and overwhelmed. But Buddhist teachings offer a powerful antidote, the practice of mindful action. By taking mindful steps, big or small, we shift the focus from rumination to action, fostering a sense of agency and positive change. Imagine ourselves stuck in quicksand. The more we struggle, the deeper we sink. Now, imagine a helping hand reaching out. By taking hold of that hand and taking a small step forward, we begin to break free. Mindful action is that helping hand. It allows us to step out of the quicksand of negativity and take a step towards a brighter present moment. When we ruminate on negative thoughts, we become overwhelmed by stress and anxiety. Taking action, however small, interrupts this cycle. It allows us to focus on the present moment and the task at hand, reducing anxiety and promoting a sense of calm. Mindful action isn't just about self-care. It can also involve acts of kindness towards others. By helping someone in need, we cultivate compassion and connect with others on a deeper level. This fosters a sense of purpose and belonging. While performing any action, no matter how small, focus on the present moment. Pay attention to the physical sensations of our body, the sights and sounds around us, and the breath moving in and out. This mindfulness brings a sense of purpose and presence to our actions. Don't judge yourself based on the outcome of our actions. The focus is on taking the step and cultivating a sense of agency, not on achieving perfection. After taking mindful action, take a moment to appreciate our effort. This fosters a sense of gratitude and reinforces positive behavior. In relationships, mindful action could involve actively listening to a loved one, expressing gratitude for their presence, or offering help without being asked. At work, mindful action could involve tackling a challenging task with focus, taking breaks for mindful walking, or offering help to a colleague. When taking care of ourselves, mindful action could involve preparing a healthy meal with awareness, taking a mindful bath, or doing some gentle stretches. Don't wait until we feel motivated to take action. Begin with small, manageable steps, even amidst negativity. Over time, these small actions create momentum. Notice what situations or thoughts trigger negative rumination. Once we identify the triggers, have a plan for mindful action to counter them. For example, if feeling overwhelmed at work triggers negativity, take a mindful walking break to refocus. These are practices that take time and effort. Be patient with ourselves and celebrate our progress. By incorporating these tips into our life, we can weaken the hold our thoughts have on us and cultivate a more peaceful and present mind.